Woof! Literary love line.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, dog.
Hey!
Today we're here with Thomas Gray. He's the author of The Confessions of Nat Turner, as well as his attorney. And we will be asking just a few questions from an investigative point of view and trying to figure out exactly what kind of motivations there was behind these murders and riots and everything like that. So, anyway, you are on the air, Mr. Gray. How are you today?
I'm good. First, I would like to say these alleged murders and these supposed riots.
Yeah, and if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. We get it. Okay.
I feel like that's offensive, but continue.
All right. Let's see. First of all, I want to ask you personally. Do you think that Nat Turner was justified in what he committed, what he did allegedly?
That's really kind of a tough thing to say. First off, because I don't think he did it. Second off, because he did go through a lot of persecution throughout his whole life, and it's really kind of hard to say whether it was justified or not, especially when you take into account that he said there were religious implications to what he did. So maybe by his thoughts, they were justified in some way. But as far as my opinion goes, I would say I can't discuss that right now.
So you wish to remain objective?
I wish to plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's very attorney-like of you.
That's what I do.
Let's see. Do you, what kind of motivations do you think were behind these riots?
Well, I mean, it's impossible to say exactly, but the things that I've already said, he was persecuted throughout his life by slave owners, by white people in general. He was a religious man. He led sermons on his plantation, and whenever it came down to it, he said that there were religious reasons for his rebellion. So his motivations are complex and many, and it's very hard to get down to it. But if it was anything in particular, I would say it was the persecution that he felt throughout his life.
Many would argue that he was justified in his rioting and in his rampage on innocent people for everything that he endured throughout his lifetime. And maybe there was a sort of mental breakdown and just a kind of all of a sudden reaction to the people who were trying to get him to do this for a long time. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, insanity is something that we've considered, but we really are trying to avoid that, because it was a man who had a lot of difficulties throughout his life. He tried to cope as well as he could, and in the end, he just he led this rebellion against these people. It turned into what is now known as one of the most violent rebellions in United States history.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the beginning, in his mind, it was just what he calls a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, Virginia.
Okay.
And or Jerusalem.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the facts here. We're just trying to kind of understand a little bit of what went on. Now, as far as his punishment, do you do you agree with the?
I feel like it was
happened?
Severe. I mean, what ended up happening was he was beheaded, and it was put in his town. And what I feel it was, and a lot of people agree with me, that it was he was made an example of. Nat Turner was just used as a device to show what might happen were there to be another rebellion of that magnitude.
Yeah, definitely.
Or another rebellion in any form.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that, people were made examples of, and people were used as kind of a warning, which is, horrible and, deplorable, actually. especially to use human life in such a way. But do you think that, do you agree with the thoughts that perhaps maybe his death was necessary in order to really get a response, in order to really help people understand, really, for him to become a martyr? Do you think that was necessary?
Well, it's difficult to say.
Okay.
But I'd say that the fact that he was punished in such a way sealed his persona as a martyr.
Kind of made him immortal.
Which, I mean, for better or worse, I'm sure the man would rather not have been. I mean, even if he was a symbol of rebellion to the people that followed, I'm sure he would have rather not been treated the way he was, or punished the way he was. But in the end, he was killed, and he was seen as something of a leader or a symbol of rebellion. And, that's just how it is. No matter how anybody, feels about it, that's just kind of how it worked out to be. Okay. I mean, I'm sure the man would have preferred not going out the way he did. I'm sure he would have preferred that his pilgrimage was entirely successful. But
okay. We have some reactions here from some people who've kind of done a little bit of research on the subject, and they've called in with their reactions. One person has stated that she thinks that his death was necessary in order for him to become immortal, and for his cause to actually last. Right. It was necessary for him to leave behind a legacy. And she feels like he actually, he really did change, the way people saw rebellions and slavery. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, I would say that if you really want my opinion and the facts of what happened, you should just go and buy my book and read the Confessions of Nat Turner and really get the story firsthand, because my book is where it's at. So, yeah. I mean, that has the truth, and it's inexpensive. Go and buy my book.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all the time we have for Mr. Gray today. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, no problem. And that book is called The Confessions of Nat Turner. It's by Thomas Gray. And I believe it's available for Nook and Kindle as well.